Hi there, Lisa Arana here, and welcome to another Assemble This video. Today's cards are all about monochromatic colors, simple masking, and easy blending to create a set of beautiful cards using these simple techniques. I'm featuring the There Is No Reason stamp set by Unity Stamp Company with that big set of gorgeous mums and lots of sentiments to choose from. I'm going to start out by stamping that trio of mums onto some Nina Solar White cardstock using some Gina K ink. You want to make sure that your cardstock is of good quality just because we're going to be blending on some ink and we want to make sure that you have a nice smooth surface that can handle that type of a texture. So I'm just stamping that image onto my cardstock. This is the front of my card, and just doing that, making sure I get a nice solid image. I love Gina K inks for this reason. They always just smooth out beautifully and create such a gorgeous image. Next, I'm going to use some Inkadinkado masking paper, stamp that image down on that, and then I'm just going to fussy cut it out. I am cutting close to that ink line because I don't want a white shadow around my image when I do my blending. So I am being careful to stay pretty close to the stamped image line. The best tip I have for fussy cutting is making sure you move the paper and not your scissors as you cut. That will always create just a smooth transition around the curves of the image. So here I'm just going to tear away the masking paper and then line it up over my image on the front of my card, being careful to make sure that it is covered perfectly so I don't get a weird white shadow edge as I'm doing the blending. Today I'm using some makeup brushes, picking up that ink, and I am testing them out. This is the first time I'm using them, and it does kind of create a bit of a blotch the first time you lay that brush down. So I am kind of starting off and taking off some of that ink on a scrap piece of paper and then moving it around my image, starting on the masking area and then moving off onto my cardstock just to get this nice halo of blended ink around that stamped image I have. I'm starting out light and building up color. I prefer to do it this way, that way I don't end up with a big blotchy mess right from the beginning where I feel like I have to start all over again. So I'd rather go slow and build up color. When I'm done, I'm just going to run my brush over a baby wipe and that cleans it out, and then it's ready to be used with another color. So let's remove that mask, and I'm going to just store it with my stamp set so I can use it over and over again. To build the card, I have my sentiment stamped in the same color on a strip of white cardstock. Just going to punch a hole in the end of that strip so we can turn it into a tag. Then I have some die cut pattern paper to match the color scheme of the card, wrapping some string around that, and then going to pull the tag through the top of that string and then tie a bow. That'll just hold my tag in place for this card. Just tying a simple bow, getting that to the size that I want, and then I'll trim the ends off. And then I added a bit of foam adhesive to the back of that pattern paper panel and just going to glue it straight down onto my card base here at the top. And then to add a bit of interest and movement to the card, I'm going to add some sequins. These are white and clear in color, and I'm just going to add them in an odd number, so 2 at the top and 3 in the bottom corner. So here is the finished card with the monochromatic stamping and blending using a mask. I love the popped up bit of pattern paper and sentiment tag at the top, plus the sequins just add a bit of sparkle and shine and movement to the card that I just adore as well. For our second set of cards, I'm using the same blending and masking technique as the first, just changed up the color. Also using the same sentiment tag idea and just wrapping the the string around the top of the card and then tying that off in a knot, which is a little bit different than the first card. So as I wrap that through, once I get them all pulled through, I'm just going to tie a knot at the end. That'll just hold it in place and create a bit of interest at the top of that sentiment tag. So we're just going to trim the ends off, and then I'm also going to notch out the other end of that tag, just cutting down the center and then cutting from corner to corner to the top of that notch for the perfect banner-like sentiment. And then last, adding a few more sequins, this time 2 sets of 3 just because the area is bigger, and gluing those down with some glossy accents. And then for another level of interest, I'm just going to round the top corner of that card. So here's the finished card, very similar to the first, but simplified even more. Just some sequins to add some sparkle, and then that rounded corner just to add a little bit of something different to the shape of the card. This is just a fun way to create a set of cards using the same technique but changing up the layout, and then just change up the colors and sentiments to make each one special. I'll have all the supplies listed below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked it. Plus, if you have any questions or sweet comment, post below. Thank you so much for creating with me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!